Hello and welcome to PlumeriaPlay. Today we are going to be building a micro planty home. I kind of built it with a plant sim in mind, but I think it would also be a really cute little fairy home. So let's hop into it. So we are building this 32 tile micro home in the world of Windenburg. So we kind of go for a Windenburg style, but with the new fairies expansion pack coming out, I am just like all about fairies and nature-y things right now. Maybe I'm not the only one. Let me know in the comments if you're feeling the same way, but I feel like every time they announce a new expansion pack, I can only think about that new expansion pack until it actually is out and available to us. So I feel like everything I'm building lately just has at least an undertone of Fairycore energy. But also this week, the new Nature's Calling event has started. And so on stream, I played the Nature's Calling event. It didn't take super long. And then somebody requested that we build a plant sim house. So that's where the inspiration came from. Don't forget, if you have time to take part in that Nature's Calling event, there are some pretty cool reward claims that you can get from it, like the outhouse, and I think that there might be new craftables, but you can also get a new woodworking bench that is available just for logging in. You don't even have to do any gameplay. And since I already played through the first part of the event, I get to include that woodworking bench in this house. It's actually a really cute woodworking bench, and it's cheaper than the one that already comes in base game. I think it's 500 simoleons compared to the one that we already have in base game, which is 750 simoleons, if I'm not mistaken. It's not super hard to play through, and honestly, if you wanted to like cheat your way through it, you could, but you have until August 5th to play it. I just wanted to kind of bring it up in this speed build since it just started on Tuesday, because I don't want you to miss out on free rewards and free items in The Sims. I'd love to hear your thoughts on how you're feeling about these events. I have started to grow kind of fond of them, honestly. I like free new items. I don't like that there's a chance for you to miss out if you're like maybe not in a Sims era when the event is happening, but they seem to be doing it right around the time of new expansion packs. So I think they're trying to like make it when people are really the most into The Sims, because I feel like the fluctuation of playing The Sims goes up when a new expansion comes out. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's how I imagine it going. I am going to be playing through the event myself on stream over on Twitch, which will always be linked in the description. And if you want to watch the first part, it's already posted to my second channel, Plumeria Plus. So if you want to see like what the event is looking like, you can watch it there. But I'm not going to plug myself anymore. Let me talk about the build very quickly. So this is a micro home because I wanted the plant perks here, and I just like to build tiny houses. So 32 tiles is not a lot to work with. And I really felt like we needed to have a tub because we have a plant sim in mind building this house. Once again, I still feel like you could do like a fairy sim or something if you wanted to instead. It ends up being very pink and green, which I know is a color scheme that I heavily gravitate towards. So I do eventually dial back the pink a little bit. But since we had a plant sim in mind, I really wanted to use like the green swatch of the greenhouse windows, which I can admit is a choice, but I think it turns out really cute in the end by the time we have like plants on it and everything is in the house and put together. But in the greenhouse area of the house, instead of making it an actual greenhouse, I wanted that to be our plant sim's living room and bedroom area. So we used one of the Murphy beds and just covered up the fact that the Murphy bed is in the greenhouse windows by covering it with those like rose walls. Since this is a micro home, most of the building happens outside and in the landscaping. Right now we're making a fake pool pond. This is something that we had to do before ponds were available in the game, but I wanted your plant sim to be able to swim. So I wanted it to be a pool instead of an actual pond, because obviously we can make real ponds now, but your plant sims can't actually swim in those. So I've basically made a pool, and then we're just gonna fill it up with landscaping and make it kind of fade into the world a little bit by using like watercolors. I'm gonna paint the walls like stone and the floor dirt, and then we're gonna use these VFX effects like the little ducks and the turtle on the log and things like that. I love the way that this ends up coming out. Also, I want to mention right now the landscaping is looking very drab and sad, and I changed it to summer just now actually. So now the landscaping looks alive again. I had it in spring, I think. And I didn't realize the landscaping looked so bad in spring, but it was not the vibes. What is the vibes though is a ton of landscaping. So I'm starting with a hedge fence, and I do start with this purple rose one, and I end up changing it because we kind of go with a sunset themed landscaping. So it ends up being like very pink, orange, yellow, and I love the way that that ends up looking, but the purple was just clashing a little bit with that idea in my head. I want landscaping everywhere. This is a plant sim slash fairy sim house. We need to feel like we are in nature. We are one with nature. And I just really wanted there to be plants everywhere. So you can see I'm kind of making the pockets of landscaping now. And then I'm about to come back in and fill it up. I use a lot of Debug Cottage Living landscaping, but also a lot of landscaping from the Romantic Garden stuff pack. I also use a lot of things like mushrooms and whatnot, and like those little spriggly grass pieces just to make some of the emptier space also feel a little bit more overgrown and naturey. I get landscaping fatigue kind of bad, so I landscaped first here. I need to start landscaping first more because I love the way that this landscaping turned out. My usual way that I do it is once I have the house built, I'll go ahead and finish the house out completely and then do landscaping last. But I find if I do landscaping second, like after the house has a floor plan and we make sure that the house works, then to landscape, because I feel like I just end up with a better product. So I need to remember that. Landscape once the house layout is solidified. But now we're kind of adding in some terrain paint. I'm gonna make this look more blended in and natural, so don't worry. The gray rocks right now are a little stark, I admit. But once we get some planter pots, I also add the woodworking table. We add a flower arranging table and then all kinds of planter pots back there. And then I'm gonna add dirt on top of the like stones. So it looks a little bit more blended into the world when it's all over with. So don't freak out about that. I'm just kind of getting like the layout right now and finishing up the landscaping. Also, while I was streaming this, I was talking about how I need to look at more of the lots in the world. I find I have a habit of building on the same lots over and over again. So this is the first time I've ever built on this lot in Windenburg. It's a 20 by 20, like over in the rural area. And you can't really see it because the camera's spinning around so fast, but there's like water surrounding this lot. It is so beautiful. I think it might be one of the most beautiful lots in game that like I have ever seen. I'm like, maybe I need to just take a day and go and tour and look at and like make notes about all of the lots, because I gravitate towards the empty lots, and this lot had somebody living on it. So I guess I just never really bothered to build here before. Let me know if you feel the same way. I have like a sense of guilt about kicking people out of their houses. I don't actually even play in this save file. This is just a save file called building. So like, I don't even play with any of the sims. I think maybe I need to like get that save file that you can download where all the lots are empty, and then I won't have that sense of guilt about bulldozing and kicking people out of their houses, because I love this lot so much. I think it's so beautiful. Oh yeah, and we got a little bunny stump. It's so cute because little bunnies will hop around in your garden. Adorable. Maybe this is silly because it won't actually work, but in my head, I was envisioning that as a little fairy house, but the bunnies are a nice addition, of course. But you can see we're kind of getting a mix and match of planter pots. This is not usually something that I go for. I usually do very structured planter boxes when I build like backyards like this, but I felt like this one needed to look a little bit more wild, a little more overgrown. And I really like the way that it ended up. And I wanted this to be lit at nighttime, because I imagine your plant sim or your fairy sim is spending a lot of time in the outdoors. So I wanted them to be able to see at all points in time in the day. But now we are finally heading to the inside of this build, which doesn't take us very long because it's 32 tiles and like we already have a layout. I am still a little questionable if I think the front of this house is too cluttered, but in the 32 tiles, we managed to fit a fully functional kitchen. We managed to fit a dining table. We managed to fit an entry space. We managed to fit a small desk. And we have like the Murphy bed, living room, bedroom situation in the greenhouse bump out. Now the entryway is a little crampy with chairs, I think, because we have like the dining chairs and then we'll have the desk chair. But for the functionality, I thought it was worth it to have. Oh, also, I got them like one of the little dial phones, because I'm like, I feel like a plant sim or a fairy sim wouldn't have a cell phone. So in my head, that's like the phone that they use when they need to use a phone. And I do playtest all of this, so you're gonna see like little snippets of playtesting happening. I have a fake plant sim here. We just like debug cheated her to be a plant sim. Getting a plant sim naturally is actually kind of hard in The Sims, because you have to max out gardening, you have to buy like a stump, and you have to get 6 or 7 rare beans to put on the stump. And then I think you have to properly answer some questions. I don't know about that spot, but you get like a whole weird tree, which I maybe should have cheated to include, but I don't know. I felt like this house was giving slightly more Fairycore than like plant sim core. You'll have to let me know your thoughts in the comments, because I kind of feel like a plant sim would be more greenery and less florally, and I definitely went a little heavy on the florals. But I think there could be an argument made that a plant sim with like a florally house, you know what I mean? To be completely honest with you, as much as I've played The Sims, I don't think I've ever gotten a plant sim like the proper way. I always just turn on testing cheats true and shift click into like the debug and turn into plant sim. I don't know if I've ever done the whole bean situation. It's kind of time consuming because like you do have to max the gardening skill, and the gardening skill is one of those that's not all that easy to max. It's not necessarily difficult, but if you've got any kind of money constraints, it's harder to do because like you have to plant and take care of so many plants to max the gardening skill. But in our little greenhouse area, since it's not a proper greenhouse, I still wanted it to have a lot of greenery in here. So I'm trying to use like the plant curtain, hanging plants. I play with the idea of this leaf rug, but it just doesn't work because when the bed's down, you can't see it at all. Just to get some extra little planty things, I use like the little plant nightstand from the planty kit. I'm forgetting the name now, Blooming Rooms. And I use a lot of Blooming Rooms in this build, obviously. I go back and forth on if I could only buy one build kit, what it would be. But like lately, it would be the Blooming Rooms kit because I've been getting a lot of use out of that. I do decide to mount a little TV here on the wall. This one's from Get to Work, and it's like a small little TV, but it works whether the bed is up or down. And I wanted to have some entertainment for your Sims because it's a teeny tiny little house. Like they need stuff to do other than gardening all the time. I don't know how much a plant sim would realistically want to watch TV, but your Sims do have fun needs that need to be met, plant sim or not. So I went ahead and did that. And then now we're changing lights out. I'm trying to be better about not only using saucer lights all the time. I have a very bad habit of placing saucer lights and never going back and swapping them out. And I do that in the bathroom, but I feel like in the bathroom it makes a little bit of sense at least. But now we're kind of getting our color scheme solidified. You can kind of see the chair situation in the front, and the little yellow heart chair just wasn't quite hitting. So I changed it for this one that had the floral backing. I know that's a wedding chair, but it's a plant sim slash fairy house. Like I can use the floral on the chair. It just makes sense. They can make it grow in my head. But we're getting a nice little runner here in the kitchen. And in the kitchen, we really couldn't do too much clutter because there's only one available cooking counter. So I couldn't put anything on that technically. I played with the idea of upper cabinets and they won't really fit. And so I do eventually end up getting like the little cutting boards and putting them there. The cutting boards from Cool Kitchen are cool because they're technically a wall piece. So you can like put them on the counters, but they're not actually on the counters. So you can still use that to cook. But I get a little bit of clutter out of it, which is nice. And then of course you may be thinking, Sarah, there aren't enough plants. Well, it's 32 tiles and it's very hard to get your Sims to walk around. So I did end up with some plants on top of the fridge. I got some roses for the table. I'm adding in like little tidbits of plants as much as I possibly can, but we certainly had some tile limitations. And speaking of tile, we're using this green tile in here that was from the last event, the Blast from the Past event. And that's where that phone is in the front door as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think even if you didn't complete that event, if you download this house, those are still technically considered base game. So I think you would have them. You just don't have them available in your game. At least that's how it used to be. I don't know if they've changed it. They've certainly gone and edited and updated the UI on these new events. They look a lot different now. When I give you the tour of the lot, I'll kind of show you that in game. But now we are really putting on finishing touches. I'm putting our dirt terrain paint pretty much everywhere. Oh, actually, I've added in a couple more plants. I was like, wait, there's not enough. And went back for more. And now I think I'm coming in with the dirt terrain paint. There we go. But we are kind of doing finishing touches. So I'm going to hop into game now and give you a tour of it. And then we can also look at that event together. I've already completed the first half, but they have changed the UI a good bit. So I'll kind of show you what that's looking like. So we're here in game now. We're in the world of Windenburg. And I built this over here on this 20 by 20 lot back in this corner. I had never built over here. So I'm excited to show you this lot area. So here is a little look at our lot from the front. I wanted to come in live mode because I wanted you to see the VFX effects like without being boxes, but of course the mail lady's here, so just ignore her. But when you walk up, you're met with like the cute little path. There's tons of landscaping everywhere. This got struck by lightning. Oh my god, the weather was so bad when I was trying to build. Look at the little bunny. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted. Okay, this is the pond with the VFX effects. There's a little turtle that'll pop up on this log. There's some other things that happen that I will show you, but it's been wanting to be stormy. So I'm gonna just kind of give you a tour on pause first, but please look at this area. It's literally surrounded by water. Like the whole thing all around is just water. So there's a lot of different fishing spots. There's a few over here and the water is just so lovely and pretty. There's also like a little hangout area back here with a fire pit. So like there's a lot to do in this little spot of the world. So let's start with the outside. So we've got our little pond that our plant sim can swim in. We're gonna have bunnies around since we have a little stump, which I am just eating up. And then if you walk through the little hedge arch, back here's where that new event woodworking table is. It's so cute. You don't have to do any gameplay to get this, but it does have a lot of really cute colors. So here's just like kind of a quick overview of the swatches. Some of them are very bright and colorful. I did just kind of stick with the neutral one for out here, but you could even do like this messier version of the same one if you wanted to change it. I also included bee boxes, which are struck by lightning. They're not struck by lightning on the gallery, so you shouldn't have to replace them, but we've got some bee boxes. We've got a flower arranging table, and I do have plants in all of these. You can just delete them if you don't want them, but I was testing to make sure that the planter boxes worked, and somebody on stream asked me to leave them. They're just all flowers, so nothing like all that helpful. But I've got another bee box and then the little bunny stump. The inside is not a whole lot to tour. She's on the computer right now, but right when you walk in, we have a cute little entryway place with like coat rack, shoes, mirror. We've got our little phone, and then over here is that tiny little desk with a computer. We've got a small dining area in this corner, and then our kitchen is down here. I did kind of get to include some clutter with like our little pantry set up in this nook, but other than that, it's kind of plain because there's not really a lot of space in here. Our bathroom is a pretty standard cute bathroom. It's like kind of a green and yellow vibe, and I very much like that. And then through this little archway is where the bedroom slash living room is in the greenhouse area out here. Oh no, I uploaded this with a wallpaper wrong. Uh-oh, I'm sorry about that. I didn't realize. And then this light here does attach to the actual top of the greenhouse, which I like how that looks. But yeah, that is the full build. It does work all properly. And then the VFX effects are so cute. So there's like the little turtles that'll hop on the log, the little duckies that swim around. And then there's like, I put some little glowing things in there just to give it more of a magical essence. And I believe some fireflies will come up at night. Oh yeah, there they go. You can kind of see them sparkling around the tree and over here a little bit. But on the new events tab, so the new event is not automatically opening like the old one was, which I like a lot, but you can click on it here and then you can kind of see the items that you can claim, and you can see the upcoming quest. So it'll show you your completed quest, it'll show you future quest, and then it'll show you available quest. So they've definitely updated the way that this looks, and I am liking the new look of the event quest. It's very clear like what's available and what's not available. You can kind of see what's coming, and then when the quest is actually available, what'll happen is a little plumb bob will pop up right next to it right here. So you can click on the plumb bob if you want to start the actual task. This build is already available on my gallery if you're interested. I did just call it Plant Sim Micro Home, so super easy to search for, but my ID is PlumeriaPlay. I hope that you enjoyed this build. It was actually a really fun one for me to do. It was like kind of all my favorite things in one singular build. It was like my favorite size house, my favorite color scheme, very planty and florally. I loved this one, so I hope you enjoyed it too. If you made it this far in the video, comment a flower emoji. Any flower emoji is fine. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have the best rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.